Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribol, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone. So, welcome to this evening Bhakti Vriksha program. It is Saturday and we see snow everywhere. So, thank you for coming and attending this session. So, I hope you all know me. If not, then I'll give my quick introduction. So, my name is Rasraj Das. So, I'm associated with ISKCON since last 6 years. So I've been practicing this bhakti, and still I am initial stage only. I won't say that I am achieved my goal. It's still I'm in a sadhaka stage. So I request, I humbly request everyone, please, give your blessings so that I can speak today's subject matter. So without any delay, let's get started. Let me share my screen. So I hope you all see my screen by now. Can you see my screen, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can anyone
Yeah.
confirm?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Let me. All right. So today we will be discussing fourth chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. The title is Transcendental Knowledge. Very interesting, transcendental knowledge, right? So let's discuss quick recap. What we discussed till now. So in the first two chapter, we know that first chapter starts with bewilderment of Arjuna. So Arjuna did not want to fight in the battlefield, and he puts 5 different reasons for not to fight. Those are compassion, loss of enjoyment, fear of sinful reaction, destruction of family tradition, and indecision. And in the second chapter, Krishna answered or clarify all his bewilderment. So when Arjuna says that compassion means he doesn't want to kill his relatives, kinsmen, then Arjuna said, okay, soul cannot be killed or it cannot be created. Soul is eternal. So no need to worry about that. Even if they lose their life, soul will never be died, right? Then next point, loss of enjoyment. Arjuna thought that if I fight this battlefield, what happens? Either I will be killed, then of course there is no enjoyment, right? I'm gone. If, let's say, I win this battlefield, that means I have to kill everyone. Rest all my relatives will be died. Even that case also, I cannot enjoy with anyone. No one will be there to enjoy. But Krishna says, no, you need to think in different way. So if you win, you will be enjoying this entire kingdom. You will, right? The entire Hastinapur, entire this kingdom will be yours. Even if you lose, if you die, then you will go to that, at least Swarga Loka, because this is the holy war. This is not a mundane war. It is a holy war. So in either case, you are a winner. You are an enjoyer, right? In both the case, you are an enjoyer. Then third point, Arjuna says, fear of sinful reaction. Arjuna was thinking, I am going to kill everyone. That means I will be taking sin, lots of sin. But Krishna says, no, you are a Kshatriya. Your duty is to fight. If you do not fight and escape from this battlefield, then you will take a sinful reaction. As a dharma, as a Kshatriya's duty is to fight. In fact, I would suggest that you fight this battle and then die here. Then you won't take any sinful reaction. Then fourth point, Arjuna puts, destruction of family tradition. Arjuna says, if I kill all these people, the armies, they are the head of their family. What happens to their kids, their wives? They lose their head of the family, and the wives and kids will be the spiritual growth will be distracted, and the women may involve in illegal relationship with other men, and then there may arise of Varna Sankara or unwanted progeny. That's a valid point, But Krishna says, not performing prescribed duty is the cause of family destruction. So in the third chapter, Krishna says this, if someone is not performing his prescribed duty, that will lead to family destruction. And also in second chapter, Krishna says that Bhogasvarya Prashaktana means those who are involved in Bhoga and Aisvarya. Bhoga means sense enjoyment, material enjoyment. Aisvarya, right? Opulences. Those who always think and enjoy about this material opulences, that will lead to the destruction of their, growth, their spiritual life. And finally, indecision. He was confused. Should I go this direction or should I go that direction? Should I listen my mind or should I listen what Krishna says? So he was confused. That's where in the second chapter, Karpanya dosa upatha svabha prichami tvam dharma samuda chetaha. He said that he surrendered to Krishna. Krishna, I am surrendering to you. From today, you are my guru. I am your disciple. Please instruct me. Please show me the path. Dharma samuda chetaha. Dharma samuda means bewilderment. Dharma sankat, what you say. So, end of the second chapter. Then after explaining we are not the body, you are not the soul, everything, then Krishna finally says to keep all abnormal activities far distance by intelligent and fight. Then Arjuna says, hold on, I'm confused. You are saying that apply your intelligent, keep all abnormal activities, then fight, right? How it is possible? Both seems contradict each other. Right? Then he asks, so should I renounce or should I fight? Which is better? Should I apply my intelligence and escape from this place and go to the some forest and fully concentrate on Lord? Why are you involving me in this fight? Then Krishna says, without knowledge, if someone renounce, that will create impurity. So better perform activities than false renunciation. That's what Krishna says in the 3rd chapter. Then further, finally, Arjuna asks, end of the 3rd chapter, why do people perform sinful acts unwillingly as it engaged by force? Many times people do that, even they do not want sometimes. It seems that something is forced to act. But Krishna says, it is just lust only, Arjuna, which born in contact with material desire. And later it is transformed into wrath. That material desire, if it is not fulfilled, it becomes to wrath. We develop the anger, and that anger puts us to perform sinful reaction. That's why performing one's prescribed work without any attachment leads to transcendental knowledge. That's what Krishna ends in the 3rd chapter. So here I'm highlighting that transcendental knowledge. So this point leads to enter into the 4th chapter. The 4th chapter title is Transcendental Knowledge. Now Krishna explains in detail what is the transcendental knowledge means. Let's understand. So this chapter 4 is divided into 5 parts. So today I will be covering the first 2 part, section 1 and section 2, and remaining 3 section we will cover in the upcoming next class. Okay. So first section is transcendental knowledge. Let's understand what is this transcendental knowledge means. Okay. Before we go, right, I would like to everyone look at this picture and answer, what is this? What do you think about that? Please unmute yourself.
A bong or something to play an instrument with.
I don't know what to call it in English, but we have an we can say a bell, right? This is something that is inside the bell.
Okay.
That makes the sound, the vibrations, the ghanti that we.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else would like to guess or think?
Prabhuji, look, it is rusted though. We don't know what it is exactly, but it is very rusted.
Yeah.
It's a tool actually to make to make the building material. It's for
okay, very nice. It's a tool to make some building material. Interesting. Any other guess or anyone knows what is this? So, right. So no doubt, by looking at this picture, we have something in our mind, we're trying to guess it or understand it. What is this? So, but to understand this product correctly, we should have 2 things, right? One is product specification manual. We should know what is this what is this all about. Whoever is developed or created this product, he should release the product specification manual which says about this product. Second is instruction manual. Definitely that we need instruction. As we said, someone said that okay, it is some kind of bell, someone said it's some building material. So without this instruction manual, if we start using this product, then we may end up with messing up this, right? Someone is using it as a bell, someone is using as it some construction material, but the real purpose of this material or this product is lost. We are not utilizing it properly because we do not have this instruction manual, or we are not following this instruction manual. So that's what we need to understand here. Just as every gadget comes with an instruction manual, this entire universe comes with guidelines which enlighten one about its purpose and function. Such guidelines are found in the Bhagavad-Gita, which contains knowledge of this knowledge of what divine origin, and everything. The knowledge, the Bhagavad-Gita gives that. Bhagavad-Gita is that manual, which gives that knowledge, the instruction manual for a human life. If you do not follow that manual and simply use our life, this body, what is this body? This body is also a product, right? It's a material product. That's why when God created this body, he gave us the manual. That manual is nothing but Bhagavad-Gita. But what's happening is people are not following that manual, simply started using that product however they like. That's why they're ending up with messing up this product. So that's why, what we see that, when we start living without knowing the instruction manual, we are facing so many struggles in our life, or sometimes anxieties, lot of problems we see. Right? So that is the knowledge which I'm talking about today, that is present in Bhagavad Gita. The chapter 4 talks about. So knowledge, right? So what is this knowledge? Can anyone would like to say, what is knowledge? What do you think about knowledge? Anyone, anything you can think. It's not right and wrong. We are making this class as an interactive so that we can talk. I like to talk with everyone.
Isn't knowledge knowing something about something?
Knowing something, right? That's
right. Knowing something about something.
Knowing something, knowing about something about. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
So,
right?
Prabhuji, knowledge can also mean knowing with facts.
Knowing with facts. Very nice. Okay. That's correct. What else could be? So we come across so many knowledge, right? In a day-to-day life, we work in our job, we come across many tools. If you are all working in IT, then you are very much familiar with this knowledge, right? Every day we say the knowledge, okay, knowledge about this product. If some new technology is coming up, then we should know, okay, do you know knowledge about this, knowledge about this tool, knowledge about knowledge transfer. Sometimes very frequently we use the word knowledge transfer, right? If someone is joining in the team or someone is leaving in the team, we transfer the knowledge. So some of the definition of knowledge as per the dictionary, according to Webster dictionary, knowledge is the fact or condition of knowing something with familiarity gained through experience and association. Right? This is the knowledge which is gained through experience. We are trying to use something, knowing about something, any product. It could be product, tool, or some matter, some subject, some area. And a frequently used definition of knowledge is the ideas or understanding which an entity possesses that are used to take effective action to achieve the entity's goal. These are frequently, some knowledge, ideas, and everything. So these are all, there are so many knowledges, so many mundane knowledges we have, or general or day-to-day life. We say that knowledge about this, knowledge about science, knowledge about history, knowledge about product. But problem, does this knowledge solve our problem? That is the question to everyone. So what is this problem when you're talking about the real problem in your life? If you see in this picture, I put the 4 problems. Can anyone say what are these problems of life? By seeing the picture, can anyone guess it? Or
birth, disease, old age, and death.
Very nice, right? Birth, old age, disease, and death. These are the very fundamental problems in our life. So the knowledge which you are talking about, or the knowledge which you are gaining every day or every other day, we're trying to achieve that knowledge, which which help us to improve our way of living, the material way of living. But does this knowledge solve our problems? We know that modern science is proving or is inventing so many new processes, gadgets to solve this problem. But unfortunately, the modern science or processes are unable to solve this fundamental problem of the life. They're trying to make the life easy, right? Let's say simple example, that's currently everywhere is snowing outside, and the technology invented of heater, so that we can live comfortably in our home. Yeah, I mean, we don't deny that fact. Science and modern technology is trying to make easier of our day-to-day living style, but it is unable to solve this problem, birth, death, old age and disease. And someone may ask, how come these are problems? Birth, when someone born in our family, we make so many interesting functions, right? We will be happy, we'll get full of delight. Okay, the new member has arrived in our family. Then how come it will be a problem? But what our if you go in deep, the problem, why it's called as a problem, because the soul, soul has to stay 9 months in the mother womb to come out of that. And the 9 months, the soul would be going through so much struggles, so many pressure, because in a small confined area, uh, the soul has to, the soul with the body has to stay. And sometimes if the mother eats some kind of spicy food, it hurts that baby in the mother. Means it's a horrible situation. That's why as soon as babies come out from the womb, he or she starts crying, because the baby comes through so much struggles. Obviously, it's a problem. And disease, whatever we say, the modern science is unable to resist this. Think about the coronavirus. No matter how improved or advanced we are, we have all advanced technology processes, but still millions of people were died because of coronavirus. This is a disease. Old age, no one wants to see this old age. Everyone wants to stay young, right? But no one is able to stop this. Finally, death, right? Sad moment. Death, everyone is scared about death. No one wants to die, but that is a natural fact. Everyone has to die. In the second chapter, Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janmam mritasya cha. Those who have taken birth has to die, and those who have died has to taken birth again. Right? So these are 4 problems of the life. And our knowledge, or so-called knowledge, or advanced knowledge is unable to solve this problem. Okay, now we are coming to the point, transcendental knowledge. So the word transcendental, this is very important. We need to understand it. It makes sound scary also. What is this transcendental knowledge? If you see the literal meaning of the word transcendent is a verb, which means to rise above, transcendent something. So the transcendental can generally be understood as spiritual, meaning non-material. I think in the last class we discussed about the three modes. Can anyone say what are the three modes? Three or gunas?
Rajo, Tamo, Sattva.
Very nice. How about others? I believe this topic is covered, right? I just wanted to check. So these all gunas or these modes are under material realm, right? When we go above these three realm, right? Go above these modes, and we want something non-material, that is called transcendental. So the knowledge which is not concerned to this material world, the knowledge which is concerned to the spiritual world, that is called transcendental knowledge. It means belongs to divine nature, which is different from the nature we see in the material world around us. So we use many times we say that transcendental nature means spiritual divine nature, not this material world, material nature. Transcendental work means spiritual service, spiritual work, which doesn't lead us to take any karma, like we discussed last time, karma and vikarma, right? And even in the fourth chapter, in the next class, we'll discuss about this karma, vikarma as well, because Krishna again repeated those. Means akarma means the activities which doesn't bound, which doesn't give us either positive reaction or negative reaction, right? That is called akarma. So that is called transcendental activities. Transcendental sound vibration, right? Spiritual sound, not that this mundane material sounds, the music which we hear. This is the transcendental sound, means beyond this material realm. It's a spiritual. So everything connected to Krishna becomes a transcendental or spiritual. So when you use this word transcendental, then that means it is spiritual. So in this entire chapter, we use this word transcendental knowledge. So I hope by this you can relate it. What is transcendental means in a simple thing, right? Simple word. If you try to understand, transcendental means not material. It is a spiritual. Okay, beyond our conception of this material world. So then, what is this? How to understand this transcendental knowledge? The question comes: what is, we understand that transcendental knowledge. This chapter 4 is talks about transcendental knowledge. How to understand this transcendental knowledge? What do you think? Can anyone would like to volunteer and speak? Come on.
Prabhuji, I will make a try.
Yes, go ahead, Prabhuji. No,
So-
as I said, right? No wrong and no right.
Right. So transcendental knowledge involves much more maturity in understanding about the life and about God or about the Krishna and consciousness above all the material matters. So that's the way I see transcend or transcendental knowledge, that rising above all our day-to-day life and then looking at the life that way.
Very nice, Prabhu. Exactly. Very nice. Okay. Anyone would like to try? What do you think? What do you understand? Just anything. Just try to say something that makes me feel comfortable. At least I'm not
Prabhuji,
boring. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, so what I think is transcendental knowledge is something like it's opposite of material knowledge. So so there is no punya, there is no papa. So if we, for everything whatever we do in this world, we either get punya or we get papa. But those activities, so whatever activities we do as papa or sinful activities where there is no knowledge or there is a wrong knowledge, and those activities whatever we do, we get wherever we get punya, or probably in the mode of goodness or mixed modes, but it yields punya. But transcendental knowledge is something that which is going beyond the papa and punya, and which is at a very, very higher level, and not on the material level.
Nice, Prabhu. Yep, that's good. Anyone else? Okay, so let's understand what is the transcendental knowledge, right? Transcendental knowledge means, understand this reality, right? So how do you understand this transcendental knowledge? By asking the basic 4 questions in our life. Who am I? It starts with who am I? Where am I come from? What is my original position? What is my real duty? These are the 4 basic questions. There could be more, but I'm concentrating on these 4 questions. The answer to this question will give us to understand transcendental knowledge. That's where our journey starts. The human form is a very, very rare form and very valuable form, right? So we need to understand this, who am I, where I'm come from, what is my original position, and what is my real duty. Is my real duty to eat, sleep, mate, and defending, right? Like how all the animals does, or something beyond that. That's where those questions, the answer to those questions help us to understand this transcendental knowledge, the knowledge, So who am I, right? If you see the picture, we also discussed in the 2nd chapter, we are not the body, we are the soul, right? That is a very basic understanding. We are soul, we are not the body. Soul is eternal, whereas body is not eternal. It's as soon as we die, their body is gone, but the soul will remain eternal. Where I am come from? Okay, if I understood I am the soul, that's fine. What is the origin of the soul? Where I am coming from? So that this transcendental knowledge, the knowledge gives us, okay, we are soul and we are coming from the spiritual. Soul, also known as spiritual soul, right? That means it's coming from the spiritual world. We have this material world, and we have beyond this material world, we have the spiritual world, and the soul is coming from there. What is my original position? So what is my position? The soul's original position is, soul is part and parcel of Krishna, the supreme personality of the Godhead, who is the cause of all causes, right? He is the origin. Krishna, the supreme Lord, we call, right? And we are also known as the super soul, right? Soul and super soul. The soul is, the position of the soul is, it's a part and parcel of the super soul of Krishna. Then what is my real duty? So the real duty, this is very interesting question, right? We understood we are soul and we are come from spiritual world and we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we are just part. And what is our real duty? So our real duty is to serve the master, right? So also what is our original position? It could be like we are the part and parcel, and we are the very tiny part of the whole, and our goal is to the goal of, or the duty of the tiny part is to go back to the original, where we come from. So that is our duty. Our duty is to try out to come out of this material world and go back to the spiritual world. And what is the process? That is defined in further chapters of Bhagavad-Gita, but process is that is called, we call as a devotional service, right? You see in this picture, I'm showing the chanting, deity worship. So these are some processes. We will be discussing more in upcoming chapter, when it comes to Bhakti Yoga and all these things. But For now, you just understand what is our goal, right? Our goal, our aim is to go back to the original position. That's where we find the real happiness, And in this material world, whatever activity we do, we are not satisfied. Why we are not satisfied? Because we always think that we are the body and always try to satisfy our senses only. The senses are not permanent; they are matter, right? When we die, the matter, the body will be destroyed. But we are trying to feed our body through and day and night, just feed our body. Whereas the soul is eternal. Soul needs something. We are forgetting to feed our soul. That is the reason for all our problems in our life. When you understand this basic transcendental knowledge, when you understand the answer to the 4 questions, then we start realizing, okay, if that is the case, what are we doing to feed our soul? Because soul is eternal, soul needs something. So we need to understand the process to feed our soul in a right way or right direction. That way we will get, or we will see the eternal happiness. Everyone is hankering for happiness. Think about that. Whatever activity we do, whatever activity, and the root cause or root reason for that activity boils down to get happiness. Think any of the situation, any of the thing, right? Activity you perform. Sometimes mother take care his kids. What is that activity? So that means mother gets that satisfaction, that feeling, that happiness. Or someone is found up eating. So when you eat, what we get that happiness. Or someone is workaholic, is working, 15 hours or 20 hours a day, and end of the day or end of the month, when he either he gets a salary, happiness, or he gets satisfaction. Oh, okay, I have done something great. He's satisfying his sense. I mean, everything is boiling down to satisfaction, right? The real happiness, what we see, that comes only from when we are feeding our soul, not the senses. Okay. Now let's go to the accurate understanding of this knowledge. Okay, we understand this transcendental knowledge. Then how do we understand this knowledge? So I'm going to the section 2. So before going to the section 2, does anyone have any questions, or to just to to so that we are not missing something? Okay. Mm. So let's understand, this is one of the very important chapter, accurate understanding of this transcendental knowledge. So this is very common saying that I am spiritual but not religious. So again, it comes down to the fundamental question: what is spiritual and what is religion? Are they both same or different? Right? So spiritual usually refers to the experience of higher and deeper aspect of life. We want to experience some deep meaning of our life. Basically, anything related to spirit. We are the spirit soul, right? Anything related to the soul, that's called spiritual. And religion refers to the adherent to certain beliefs and rituals given in a specific tradition. Means it is a process to follow that spirituality. So do you think that the spiritual and religion are both separate entity? Does it make sense that if someone say I'm spiritual but not religious, what do you think? Any answer? Any volunteers?
I think that is just I can't think of what I was going to say. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mataji. No worries. What do you think? Just go ahead and tell. I mean, we understand that spiritual means, you refers to the experience of higher, deeper aspect of life. Means anything related to spirit, soul. We want to experience that that feeling concerned to our spirit, soul. That is called spirituality. And religion is that the process by which we feel we get that experience, the process, the beliefs or rituals, what are the activity we do, right? So
I just want to compare it with some analogy.
yeah.
So spiritual means as you said, it's talking about spirit, not about body. So it's the analogy is something like we want to go to some higher place, and how to go to that higher place. We can go through bicycle, we can go through car, or we have some mode of some medium, right? So then only we can go to that higher place. So that vehicle is, or the instrument or the machine or whatever we can put it in that analogy, is a religion, and we have to choose the correct religion, or the religion which takes us to that correct destination. And often people thought, okay, I want to go here, but they pick a wrong vehicle and they ended up going in either in a wrong direction or opposite direction, or not moving from where they are. So I would say spiritually something like a higher knowledge or a higher destination, and there are various levels wherever we think of like as a destination. So based on their level of destination, we can say they are like advanced, spiritually advanced, or spiritually like in some stage of life. So just I want to throw that analogy here.
Yes, very nice. Very nicely you said, Prabhu. So we want to go to some destination, but we do not want to follow any path. When you say that, that doesn't make any sense, right? So if you say that spirituality and religions are go in a together, right? Means if you want to experience that higher aspect of life, then we need to follow some path, some as you say, some vehicle to go some destination. So the vehicle is religion. So religion is in other way. We can understand that. See, when you say mathematics, right? What is mathematics? Mathematics is the understanding of the numbers, right? What do we when we say the physics? Physics is what understanding of the the different matters. And when you say the chemistry, understanding of chemicals. Similarly, religion is what is the process of understanding the spirit, right? Soul. That is called religion. So we are saying that spirituality means understanding, experience the higher and deeper aspect of life. That means something related to spirit. And when you say we are not religionist, that is contradict each other. But that is so we need to understand that to experience that spirituality, we need to follow some path, some religion. That is what I mean. Religion is nothing but it's some kind of procedures, some kind of activities which help us to reach that destination or experience that deeper aspect of the life. That's called religion.
I was going to say, could religion be like a foundation leading to the spiritual?
Yep, that can be. It's the process. It's a medium, you can say, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So inaccurate understanding, right? So again, sometimes there is many confusion around this. When you say there are many paths which say that we are religionist, which we need to understand here that any path, any religion which leads us to experience that spirituality, that's called religion. And how does this religion has someone say that okay, many times we see especially in our Indian culture, many people worship many Devi Devatas. There are millions of Devi Devatas, or sometimes we call as a demigods. So they call it, okay, that is a religion. And why they do perform those activities, and if you see that most of the time we perform those demigod worships to get something in return. Someone wants to perform some yajna because they want to get nice wife or nice husband, or they want to get better profits in their business, or they have constructed new house so that their house it's they want to live very happily in this house. That's why they perform different yajnas or some kind of worships. So are these called religion? Does this, what do you think? Is this a religion?
Prabhuji, I have a question if you don't mind.
Yes, Prabhu.
On spiritual and religion correlation. And again, it's a very simple approach to define or get the understanding that if we consider the demigods, does that mean they are centric to religion? And if we focus on Lord Krishna and Krishna consciousness, then it is being spiritual. Is that the right understanding?
Yes, Prabhu, I will come to that point. So here is that, we try to understand. That's what I'm saying that. So religion, we understood that religion is the medium to experience that spirituality. Okay. So the higher, deeper aspect of life, But when we worship different Devi Devata, and in return of something, right? Most of the time we do, especially in India. And so the question is, does it qualify as a religion? The question. So yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, so I would say, so this is my my take on this. So I would say, like a lot of people take lot of different paths, and one of the paths you told, worshipping the Devis and Devatas, which is worshipping of demigods. So based on their birth or belief system, I would say that is also a kind of religion, but the destination is not at the highest level. So we have to see two aspects. One is, what is the destination that a belief system or religion takes to. The other one is like what is their expectation. One is, so if they are worshipping the demigods for some material profit, so that is the expectation, that is the destination, and that is one. It is still good compared to atheism, because a lot of people don't believe that they are still on the body platform, but at least these folks, at least they worship demigods, and they think that, okay, there is some higher authority who is controlling all the material aspects. And I would say, yes, that is also a religion, but that is not at the highest level. So that is my take.
That is what right question here again comes. The destination, we saw that religion is the certain beliefs and ritual given specific tradition to experience the spiritual. Spirituality is the highest experience, right? But you are saying that when we go with the Devi Devata, we are not getting that destination. We are not getting the spirituality destination, but we are getting something else. Then how could it be treated as a religion then?
So I would say, the ultimate aim of spirituality is to attain the transcendental knowledge, and if we take that, then we cannot consider this path is a perfect path. So if I am in Chennai, if I want to travel to New Delhi, I cannot go by bicycle, and there is no use that I can say, okay, sorry, I will take a different analogy. So if I am in Chennai, and if I want to come to America, I cannot go by bicycle. So I have to take a flight. So I have to know what is my destination. So here, if the destination is like the real spiritual transcendental knowledge, then those are not the proper medium. But when I say compared to the very low level things like the atheism, or like there are different wrong beliefs also, right? So there are people who are doing violence
Yes.
and things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean,
Compared to that, this is some higher path, but not the highest. So that is
okay.
what my take.
That's good. Fair enough, Prabhu. So that is what we need to understand, right? The religion, right? There are multiple things. Someone say that, okay, we have some, every family has some belief, their ancestors following that process, But that is what, we are trying to understand is transcendental knowledge, accurate knowledge. So what is this accurate knowledge then, And in the previous slides we discussed that the transcendental knowledge is to experience that spirituality, where we come from, what is our duty, what is our real position, that is called transcendental knowledge. And if you adapt any path which answer this four question, or which help us to achieve that goal, that destination, then that is, it's real understanding of religion, and this, whatever the Bhagavad Gita is talking, we are here, how come we say this knowledge is transcendental then, the idea is that this knowledge, Krishna says in the fourth chapter, this knowledge is coming from me. So if you see the hierarchy, Krishna, Bhagavad Gita fourth chapter starts with that, Krishna says that, evam parampara praptam imam rajarsaya vidu sakalena mahata yoga nashtaha parantapa. This knowledge is coming from me, uh, and Krishna spoke to Vivaswan, and Vivaswan spoke to Manu, Manu spoke to Ichwaku, Ichwaku is the son, these are the hierarchy. And like that, one is speaking to other, he's speaking to his disciple, and the disciple is speaking to his disciple. That way, this knowledge was coming down through the disciple succession. So the original, this knowledge is coming to Krishna only. Krishna is the supreme personality of God, and he is a God, and everything is coming from him, and he spoke this knowledge, he gave this knowledge. That's why this knowledge is authentic, and this knowledge is supreme knowledge. This is the transcendental knowledge. And Krishna is saying in that Bhagavad Gita, that is why the source of knowledge is important here. That's why it's coming through parampara system. Okay, so let's go back, proceed. So this is what Krishna says, this appearance of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says the very famous verses, yada yada hi dharmasya jnani bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamaya paritrayana sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Then what? Vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna says that I appears in this material world, when there is religion declines. So here we need to understand what is that religion. We spoke about a religion, when the religion declines and irreligion arises, people are not performing their real duty. Instead of performing the real duty, they're performing all different duties, the irreligion arises. Then Krishna appears in the material world. And why he appeared? Why? So Krishna gives three reasons, deliver the devotee, paritrayana sadhunam, to deliver the devotees, the devotees who are struggling in this material world. And the devotees, they are desperately desiring to see Krishna, meet Krishna, experience him directly, to fulfill their desire. Krishna comes, and that is the first reason, that is the main reason. And the other two reasons are secondary reason, to annihilate the demons and to re-establish the principle of religion. Why it's called second reason? To annihilate the demons, Krishna can do from anywhere. He need not to come down to this material world. Even if he stays in the spiritual world, he can do that. Even to re-establish the principle of the religion, he need not to come here. But the main prime reason is to deliver the devotees from anxiety, Siddhartha. So where? Anywhere, So that is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, why he comes, appears. So this knowledge which he has given, right? sometimes people will question, okay, Krishna is speaking about all this knowledge, how practically it's true, how can we believe that? That's why, to prove them also, Krishna descends in this material world. Krishna says in the fourth chapter, Janma karma chame divyam yome evam yo veti tattvataha. Krishna says, my appearance, my disappearance, everything is transcendental. And why I come here to perform this activity, so that the people who sees this, and they can understand my real nature. That's where their belief will be, they start believing that. Otherwise, everyone think, oh, Krishna only speaks, he never performed anything. That's why he also comes this material world. Okay. So how can we get this real knowledge? So if you see that, through association of the devotees of Lord Krishna, hearing regularly Bhagavad-Gita, reading Bhagavad-Gita, and accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. This is what we are doing. Every Saturday we are meeting, discussing this chapter, Bhagavad-Gita. Association of the devotee. By associating with the like-minded people, we'll understand the subject matter. This is the source of understanding this real knowledge. If you do not go to the real source, then we may bewilder. Many people will speak different things, but real source is that real source is this, right? Who spoke this Bhagavad-Gita? Krishna himself spoke Bhagavad-Gita. So if you associate with the people who have the faith on Krishna, who is hearing from the chain, the disciples chain, which I spoke just before, the parampara, which I spoke just before, if you associate with that parampara, because they can represent this knowledge without any, interpolation. The true knowledge, the real knowledge will come. That's why we should associate with the devotees of the Lord, hearing from them, reading this Bhagavad-Gita as it is. And at the last but not least, accept Krishna as the supreme personality. If you read Bhagavad-Gita with a challenging mood, let me see how Krishna is saying this. If you challenging mode, if you read and approach Bhagavad-Gita, we never understand this transcendental knowledge, because this is not a material knowledge, right? Transcendental, beyond this material. Okay. All right. I think this Varnashrama, I'll speak next class. We can stop here, and we'll take some questions. And Rasraj, Damodar Prabhu, what is next?
So we wanted to go for the breakout. We are at 6, but you have to create the breakout rooms. I don't have the permission to do that.
Okay.
And I think there is one question probably from Phil Prabhu. You want to take that? He is asking, what is the relationship between Krishna and Vishnu?
Okay.
You just want
very nice question, Prabhu. I definitely, to answer this question, I need one more 1 hour class. But in a short, I can give you. When we say Krishna, right? Krishna, we say the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He is the source of everything. Many times, especially again in India, we get confused by the terms Vishnu and Krishna. Okay, we have a concept like believe that Vishnu is the supreme Lord. How is possible? And I am saying that Krishna is the supreme Lord, and people understand that Krishna is the avatar. He is a incarnation. Vishnu is coming from Vishnu. So that is what we are discussing, this real knowledge, right? The real knowledge comes when we discuss with the devotees of the Lord, and when we discuss from the right source. Bhagavad-Gita says, even Srimad Bhagavatam is another vast literature which talks about this different incarnation of the Lord. So in a short, I will tell you, Krishna is the supreme Lord. He is the origin. Then from him different expansion start. And when this expansion descends in this material world, that is called avatar. So we need to understand that all the expansions are not avatar. Avatar means who the expansion of the Lord who descended in the material world. That's called avatar. So Krishna, there is a multi-layer of expansion. First, Krishna expands as a Balaram. We know the Lord Balaram or Baldev. We say from the Baldev, then 4 Chaturbhuja expansion happen. Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Sankarshana, and I'm forgetting one more name. If anyone like that expansion, Vasudev. Okay, Vasudev, 4 quadruple expansion. That is again expansion. And from the Sankarshana to we have Narayana, the Narayana which lives in a Vaikuntha. From Narayana and from second quadruple expansion, again Anuruddha, like that. And then that second Sankarshana, right? The Vishnu, first Vishnu experience, that is called Karuna Dakshai Vishnu or Maha Vishnu. That is the first Vishnu who is lying on the Karuna ocean, and from his body, from the pores of his body, holes of the pores, right? From the pores of his body, millions of universe are coming out from his inhale and outhale, right? Every outhale, the universes are popping up. Inhale, universe going up. I mean, it's a vast topic. I'm quickly explaining, but we'll talk about this sometimes later. Then from every universes, right? Another Vishnu goes, enter into Vishnu, that is called Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is lying on the Garbhodaksha ocean. And from the navel of that Garbhodaksha Vishnu, the lotus flowers comes out, and from the on top of the lotus flower, the Brahmaji appears. Like that, every universe, one separate Garbhodaksha Vishnu are there. And from the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, another Vishnu expands, that is called Kshirodaksha Vishnu. Or in other word, we know that we say that everyone heart there is a super soul. Krishna resides in everyone heart. So that super soul or the Paramatma aspect of the Lord is called Kshirodaksha Vishnu. So that means if you understand that Vishnu is the Lord source, Vishnu is the expansion of Krishna, and not only there is a single Vishnu, there are 3 Vishnus are there, and every universe, and this Garbhodaksha Vishnu is repeating. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is entering in every universe. Like that, we have millions of universes. So that is a quick understanding of the Vishnus and Krishna Prabhu. It is quick answer, but as I mentioned, it is a vast. Bhagavatam talks about a full 50 verses on this incarnation of the Lord. We can discuss sometimes later. I hope I answer your question, Prabhu.
Thank you, bro, for that wonderful insight. The question seems to be simple, but the answer is really complex. And
yes,
those of you who doesn't know, Rasraj Prabhu takes everyday daily Bhagavatam class at 7 a.m. So if you're interested more to know about that, you can always join at 7 a.m. every day.
7:30, Prabhu.
7:30? Okay.
Yeah.
7:30, Prabhu. And Prabhu, you can create quick groups
Yes,
for me,
yes.
and can you flash the question for today?
Yeah.
Ashutosh Prabhu, you have any question? I see.
I have very interesting question, and
Yes,
thanks
please
for
go ahead.
giving me chance, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I may be completely wrong, but I had this struggle in my mind. Okay, in the session when we started, we said during Bhagavad-Gita, when Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that it will not be a sin if you are killing your loved ones, but if you're not doing your rightful duty, being a Kshatriya, that will be a major sin, right? Now, even though it has been said, probably I have heard it, that even after they did their rightful duty, being a Kshatriya, following the path guided by Krishna, but Arjuna, Bhim, Nakul, Sahadev, they never went to heaven.
Okay, so where did
And after the war, it is said when I was there, Prabhuji, I heard this story. What really happens is after the war, they are like Shrapit as there are 2 types of sins, right? Which are the most sinful, like Brahmahatya and Gauhatya, right? They were sinful of doing a Brahmahatya. and they did not had because of which they could not go about it. And the story that goes is like Krishna only requested them to get this sin. Only one can help them get avoided of this sin was Shiv, and that is where they were finding Shiv in and that is how they ended up trying to reach Kedarnath, and that story goes on. I do not want to, in the interest of time, I do not want to complete that story, but and that from that path they took along, and the story goes Yudhishthir with all his brothers and wife took on the path for heaven. A dog came along, and only Yudhishthir and dog went to heaven, and everyone was left behind in middle of that path, right? So even my question is like, even after they did what was they asked for and they followed their Kshatriya dharma, um, and not going by the conscience, like I will be doing a sin, they still ended up being a sinful person in this materialistic world and did not attain a peaceful the peace.
Yes, Prabhu.
I may be wrong, but yeah, I'm just
yeah,
trying
see,
to. Yeah. Mhm.
I would like to, definitely. Your question is interesting and very, very thoughtful as well. Appreciate for that. But we need to understand, right? When you say they did not went to the spiritual world, but they went back to spiritual world, that's no doubt. But I'm not sure, like from where you are referring, Prabhu, like they did not go to the spiritual world. Definitely this is something we need to see that. But they finally they went to the spiritual world, and Krishna, not only Pandavas, entire armies who were present there, everyone got liberated. Krishna says in that we are currently in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's very clearly describes, when Krishna was in the battlefield, he with the order of Arjuna, uh, he took the chariot in between of the two armies, and when Arjuna was bewildered and he was asking question, at the same time, even Krishna, what he did, he was glancing everyone, including the Kauravas in all the armies, and he took away all their sinful reaction. So whoever is died in the battlefield, and everyone got liberated. Everyone went to the uh, uh, spiritual world. And it also mentioned that in the Bhagavatam, when we say the liberated, right, again, if I go to the technical, another big class, right, there are not a single type of liberation, Prabhu. There are multiple, 5 different types of liberation. And what type of liberation who got, it's described there, but in a short, right, everyone got liberated. That's what in the Bhagavatam say, and my understanding is, Prabhu. And definitely, we will discuss more on that, like the source what you are talking about. Maybe it's interesting for me as well, Prabhu.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Just want to add in continuation
Yes.
to your answer, Raj Prabhu, that I think what I heard, I mean, like, I don't know, but I think in Mahabharata, it explained that as all the 4 Pandavas and Draupadi leaves their bodies, only Yudhishthir with the dog is going towards upper Himalayas. From there it is supposed to be going to Sumeru kind of a thing. And Lord Indra comes to take him personally. And Yudhishthir refuses. He says that I cannot go to heavenly planets without my brothers and my wife. So Indra tells him that, already your Pandavas and Draupadi are already there. Then he says, okay, I can go only with the dog who's like a faithful followed with me. So, but Indra refuses, I think so, saying that no, dog cannot go. But he says, I cannot go either. So then the dog turns into a Yamraj, because originally Yudhishthir is a son of Yamraj, right? So that's how they already like gone to heavenly planets. But again, we have to understand in the spirit of that, these are all pastimes, and they are the great devotees who have come into this material world in the Leelas of Krishna to, to have this pastime, so that we all can understand and relish. And the understanding is our relationship with regards to, how, a devotee life can be, and we can learn the lessons. So that's all, Prabhu. I just thought of just sharing this.
Thank you. That's great. Great answer. Yep. Yes, Prabhu. I mean, that is
Prabhuji, can
what
I share one point in continuation?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's not like Pandavas didn't meet the peaceful ending. It's basically their goodness, which where they thought like even in the battlefield, Arjuna thought like, okay, they are my close relatives, and he had a emotional angle, and as Mataji told, it's a Leela, and basically it is his goodness. He thought, okay, why I need to fight with my own relatives just for the kingdom? But Krishna, then he told like all the Bhagavad-Gita, and he told what is the Kshatriya's duty, and at the end of the day, on behalf of Krishna's will, Arjuna fighted. It's not Arjuna's wish or desire he fighted. It is basically on Krishna's will and Krishna's direction. Arjuna just followed and fighted, and that way whatever activity he performed is transcendental. So it is neither papa nor punya, but still the Pandavas were in the mode of like goodness, and they thought like, okay, they had made like lot of killings probably due to the war, and they probably have a lot of karmas, and they still did lot of yajnas. I believe Ashwamedha yajna and things like that, to get rid of all the yajnas, just because they are in the mode of goodness, even though whatever activity they performed is under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is transcendental. They still did their dharma or duty in the mode of goodness. So it's like, even though Lord Krishna is like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he knows all the Vedas and things like that, he still went to Gurukul and he learned all the things under Sandipani Muni, because he just want to he does not want to disobey the laws of cosmic he does not want to disobey the cosmic laws. So he still want to prove to all the living beings that when we are in this material world, we have to follow the cosmic law. So that I believe, or whatever I understood, that because of Pandavas also, as a Krishna's devotee, they also followed the cosmic law, even though under the certainty, all the activities whatever they performed is neither punya or nor papa, it's transcendental. They still followed all the material laws, I can say. Sorry for a long answer.
No, thank you so much. I know half knowledge is very dangerous, and that is why I wanted a clarification. Thank you everyone for explaining.
No,
Yes.
that's nice, Prabhu. Like, that is what we are meeting and discussing each other and understanding from each other. That is what the association I was talking, right? How do I understand this transcendental knowledge? And one of the point is associate with the devotees, right? That is very important steps in in the path of spirituality, because with our own endeavor we cannot reach anywhere. We have a very faulty senses, right? If you try yourself, you cannot reach anywhere. But when you take association of the devotee comes along with you join the satsangas, that where the force which is coming together, right, that make everyone to uplift and go back to the destination. That is why we always give importance to this association. Association always. Think about like that. I don't know which part of if you are from India, but I know when I go to the places like Hyderabad or anywhere, like the local trains. When how the local trains will be, so much crowd. If you want to get into the train, what you need to do, you need not to put any effort, just to stay in between those group of people. You just simply stay like that, and automatically the people will push you in such a way that, and after a few minutes, when you open your eyes, you will be in the train, right? We need not to put any effort. Similarly, this association of the devotees, right? And we are all coming every day, and taking the association, and you are all giving association to us as well. Krishna says, without tinge of bhakti, no one can enter into this platform. Everyone has some pious credit in your life. That's why, instead of going to some movie theater, and on Saturday evening you are all are here, means you are all having a special pious credit in your previous life or this life. And because of that, which you are all joining, and that's why, and thank you for giving your association to us. And that's what I would say. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prasad, for today we will skip the breakout. I think we are already running out of the time.
Okay.
But I think thank you everyone for their wonderful questions, because those questions helps everyone else if they also have that doubt in the mind. So if you have polling questions, you can project that, else we can conclude here, Prabhu.
Yeah, I have quick polling questions. Let me do that. Yeah, and we will continue this subject matter. As I said, right, these subjects are never-ending things. And there are a lot of things, and please don't suppress yourself. Ask questions as much as you can. That is where we can grow ourselves. When I was into this field, ISKCON, I also used to ask so many questions. I don't say that I have answer to all the question, but I will try my best to answer. If I couldn't answer, we will take our help from many senior devotees are here. Suddhavati Mataji, Madhav Kanta Prabhu, Damodar Sar Prabhu, all are there to help.
No, Prabhu, I'm also like, beginner like all of us. So please don't put me into a
One thing is that
category.
questions to all the answers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-Gita. So if you are interested,
Exactly.
you will read them, you will get all your questions of the life answered.
Yeah. And you can join if you're interested. I know it's 7:30 every day we are discussing, and we are picking up one verse, two verse max, and discussing very deeply each of those verses. So I'm posting the poll.
How do you like to frame your own questions, Rasraj Prabhu, for today's quiz?
Sorry, Mataji. What is that?
I said, how do you feel making your own questions into a quiz in today's class?
I mean, the answer will tell me whether I made justice or not, or I just spoke some rubbish thing. That will
It's
tell
not
me.
rubbish. No, it's nice questions. As usual, very nice questions.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to hearing more about chapter 4 of the Gita.
Yes, it's always in the knowledge, as I said, it's a transcendental knowledge. Even though we read 100 times, we will be sort of something. I am also in the learning phase, so just bear with me if I unable to answer or speak something not correct.
Just want to add one thing is like it is very difficult to put it in one class or two classes, these verses from Bhagavad Gita, especially like in our parampara, in our like previous acharyas, they had spent like 3 months, 6 months on single verse. Each verse they could go on explaining like in that such a lengthy way, but here, because short of time, it's very hard to put into slides and explain it. I think it's very wonderful class, Raj Prabhu.
Thank you,
It is
Mataji.
really
And
wonderful.
as in the same notes, right? See, our idea is to get the taste of this Bhagavad Gita as it is, because Prabhupada has given such a beautiful commentary on these books. Everyone, I request everyone, please go through it, read it. Now we are discussing chapter 4, and just pick up. You have 1 week of time. Whenever you get a time, just pick up as it is book and start reading, and you can release the commentary from Prabhupada. How nicely he explained Bhagavad Gita, the verses, and whatever we are able to speak because of him, the way he simply put the subject matter, the complex subject matter, in a simple way, so that the mundane, the normal people, unintelligent people like me can understand from that and speak about this. Yeah, just read it. I think we are done. Let me end the poll. Okay, so the first question was, what is the transcendental knowledge? 100% correct. That's great. It is the knowledge about the soul, God, and the relationship. Very nice. How should one receive the transcendental knowledge? So all of the above is the correct answer. We discussed, right? Hearing regularly and accept the thing. And the third question is, which problems of modern knowledge could not solve? So the birth, death, old age, and disease, right? That's problem they couldn't solve. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending, they are somehow they able to control that, right? We have a better eating, better sleeping, better mating, defending. All these things they are able to solve. That's they have achieved the success in that path, but not in the birth, death, and old age disease. Okay, I think we are done. Damodar Prabhu, anything else now?
Oh, Prabhuji, I think the next week again, Raj Prabhu will continue with the transcendental knowledge. So we are looking forward for all your association. Thank you so much for giving your associations.
Yes. And thank you, everyone. And don't wait for entire next week. If you have any questions, right? I hope you have a email address of Damodar Swarup Prabhu or Madhavkanta Prabhu or any one of us. You can always shoot your question, or you have our number.
They can shoot the question to Radharani Bhaktivriksha at gmail.com. And we have been sending the PPTs for the presentation for this week. And if you are not getting, you can post your email here and we will include your email into that alias.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your wonderful association. We can stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very nice class, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.